And that's when the pain started, and my legs were dangling on the toilet seat. My husband couldn't get me out.
Becoming paralyzed is many people's worst nightmare, but to me, it's my reality. I'm Cruz, and today, I'm bringing you into my world. Let's hope you can get some perspective, and let's have a chat. Hey guys, welcome back to this week's episode of Paralyze This. My name is Cruz Bogle, and I'm your wheelchair-bound quadriplegic host. The point of this show is to try and change your perspective on just about everything in your life. So here with me today, it's actually family edition. I have my cousin, Joannas Story, strapped into the chair. How you doing?
I'm good, thank you.
All right, well, I'm glad to have you here.
I'm so happy to be here.
So Joanna, almost 9 years ago, was diagnosed with Neuromyelitis Optica, also known as NMO. And it was, from what I remember, in the middle of the night you got kind of like back pain, right? Mm-hmm. And you went to the bathroom and just collapsed, right?
Yeah, I couldn't. My legs were really weak. My sister Christy and I had been running on the beach the day before, and I thought, well, maybe it's just from, doing something different, running, and had back pain that day. Stretched when I got home, went to bed, woke up in the middle of the night, and my body was like in a complete Charlie horse. So I went to walk to the bathroom. My legs felt really weak. So once I tried to pee, I couldn't, and that's when the pain started, and my legs were dangling on the toilet seat. My husband couldn't get me out.
That's wild.
Yeah, it was crazy. Within about 10 to 15 minutes, I was paralyzed from the waist down.
And was it complete right away?
Yeah, like I couldn't walk. It was just crazy.
How did that make you feel?
Well, it was really scary. I was in so much pain at that point that I just wanted to get to the hospital. And so my husband Tim took me to the hospital, and the ER doctor was like, and it was 3:00 in the morning, and he was like, move your toes. And I was like, I am. And he's like, no, move your toes, and this is serious. And I said, I'm moving my toes. And
you weren't actually moving your toes?
I was completely paralyzed.
Jeez.
Yeah, it's crazy.
And that was within 10 to 15 minutes, you said?
Yeah. Well, I mean, now I look back, and that whole day I'd had back pain, and it was
right.
starting. But with this disease, it's not always so acute. So what I've kind of figured out by having it for 9 years and doing my own research is that, to me, the people that I've met that have had acute incidences like I did were the most debilitated. Whereas other people have slower onset. They go to the doctor, they say, maybe you have MS, maybe you have this, try this, and then eventually it's either blind, paralyzed, weakness, numbness.
Off of that, can you kind of define what NMO is more?
Yeah, NMO is it's called Neuromyelitis Optica. In the past, in the 1900s, late 1900s, it was called Devick's disease because it was named after a neurologist. And at that point, it was sort of like, if you read about it, it's called the Black MS. You either die or are paralyzed. No one really knew what it was,
right. Except
for that it mimicked MS as far as the symptoms and who the people are that were affected by it. So, but now it's called NMO spectrum disorder. So there's a lot of different variables to that. But it basically is, it's your B cells that are either attacking your optic nerve or your spinal cord. And for me, both my attacks were in my spinal cord, so only my legs were affected. So I've never had any vision issues, knock on wood.
Could it be both though? It's never just like one or the other?
No, it could be both. You could be blind and paralyzed. And I've met people that are in a wheelchair and blind. I've met people just that have optic neuritis, which is the optica part. So, and it's mostly women in their 40s. Men and children are affected too, but not as much as women.
Do they know why it's majority is women?
No.
No idea.
No, just like with MS, there's a lot of research behind it, why it's just women. My theory is that it's hormone related, but
yeah.
I think,
Do you have any research to back that?
No, I don't. But that's just me doing my research, thinking it's a hormonal thing. When women are in their 40s, change of life, and
right.
I don't know. That's just my opinion.
Sounds like a solid theory to me.
I know, right?
That's very wild. Like, you know, obviously something like my injury is kind of snap of the finger as well, and it's unexpected, but with yours not being like a severe, you know, like an accident, that's just like mind-boggling.
I know.
It's just like out of the blue, you just...
I know. I was playing tennis the week before. I was on a travel team, athlete, to, you know, exercise 5 days a week. And I really truly think, you know, again, I don't have any evidence for this, but, and I have had doctors tell me that if I wasn't an athlete before this, I probably would be in a wheelchair.
Really?
Yeah.
And yeah, so you're able to walk. I don't know if you can see in the camera her cane over here.
Yeah, I have my cane. It's a pain, but it gets me where I need to go. And I have a lot of weakness in my legs from the nerve damage, but and I have a drop foot, so I'm a little unstable. But I drive, and thank God my right foot works and my left doesn't, so that worked out well for me.
Right, keep quite a bit of independence with that.
Absolutely.
And you still use like a scooter if you need to, or if you're going long distances or something, right? Just in case.
Walking long distances is tough. I mean, I get tired and weak. So, but yeah, I have a scooter and I walk my dog. So, you know, after 9 years, I figured out like how to run my life the way is my sort of new normal.
Yeah.
And you know, it's not bad. I'm actually doing really well, considering. I do have chronic pain, so I have that nerve pain in my legs, and it's constant, and some days are worse than others, and because I'm immunosuppressed, I do have a lot of you know, infections and whatnot, so that always sets me back a little bit, but I'm always ready to move forward.
Yeah, that's good. I mean, you have a lot going on in your life still. You still work.
Yeah. You
have 2 kids and a husband. What was that like, and what is it still like having to deal with this?
It's been an adjustment for everybody. It's not just, you know, this didn't just happen to me. This happened to my husband and my kids and my family and my friends, and they've made it very easy for me because they've all adapted very well, and you know, I feel like I am very positive, so I'm always like, I'm fine, I can do this. So they're always trying to hold me back, and I don't let them. But no, it's affected everybody, and it does have its moments that it's not all positive, and you know, when I'm in the hospital, or if I have, you know, I've had a couple of really scary infections, and I know it's hard on everybody, but you know, I managed to get through it, and so do they.
Well, we definitely have a great family for that.
Yes.
Gotta love that.
I mean, let's talk about the fact that we're both sort of disabled, and we're first cousins. It's crazy. Like, this doesn't happen to many people twice in a family, really.
Right.
So, but
what are you gonna do? That's life, right?
But I do know that I have to say this. I'll never forget, and I don't know if you remember this, but when I was first in the hospital and you came to visit me with Casey.
Yeah.
And that night I did not sleep at all. And I remember like going, how does Cruz do this? This is horrible. Like, because I couldn't move my legs, I couldn't roll over in the bed, I couldn't go to the bathroom, I couldn't do anything. And I just remember crying and thinking like, how do you do this? This is horrible. So it actually kind of shifted my perspective too, like looking to say like, you know, look at you do this, you just kind of do what you have to do to get through, right?
That's exactly it.
And that's what I tell people, you just do it because you have to.
Yeah. I mean, what's the other option, right? You just give up and...
Yeah.
I mean,
I always say that there's either a way up or down, and I just always choose up because I think it's in our DNA, thank God.
Yeah.
And I think we probably got the most of it because we deserve it.
It's gotta be it.
Yeah.
Well, the point of this show, as you already know, is kind of to shift perspectives, whether you have a disability and you need a shift in that aspect where you're at a low place, in a dark place, and you need to shift to a positive place, or if it's just something small in your life that you're trying to get over, a little hurdle, whether it's a new job or you just got fired or you crashed your car or whatever it may be, just to shift your perspective. And obviously this, I mean, you just kind of mentioned it, was a large perspective change, but what do you think, like the biggest, from being able-bodied to now being disabled, like what do you think the biggest perspective change has been for you?
Well, from going, like you said, able-bodied to having a disability and chronic pain and everything, for me, it was like, you know, so this is what has been dealt to me. It's not fair. I try to go through those emotions. And then again, like at the end of the day, it's like, well, what am I going to do? Do I just not participate in life anymore and be who I am? Or
Right.
do I just try to be who I am,
Who the new you is?
the new me? But I don't know if there's anything that actually physically changed those perspectives. It's just the way I think. But I think it's a good way to think.
Yeah, I do as well. I think I say it in every interview. It's like a lot of people, it takes a severe accident or losing somebody close to you to kind of have this, like, I guess you call it like a snap of a finger, like realization of like, wow, like I should be, living this way, not this way, or doing
Exactly.
this, not that. But yeah, that's, the point of this is to try and share our stories and
Right. And
how
it
it's
doesn't, like you
changed.
said, it doesn't have to be something like debilitating like that. It could just be something that didn't go your way, and how do you get back from that? But
Right.
you have to, and also looking at other people that have been afflicted with so many different things. Can't become self-centered like I'm the only one.
Right.
Like there's a lot of people out there with a lot of problems. So
Yeah. It's all kind of relative as well. Everybody has their own problems. What could be huge to them in their life is just the traffic on the way to work.
I know.
And something for us, we struggle to walk or may not be able to walk or feed ourselves or whatever it may be.
I know, it's true.
There's I just came across this guy on Instagram. He is a high school football coach, I believe. He has no arms, no legs. He maneuvers the wheelchair, I guess, with his chin. And he's this like insanely positive high school football coach. And he's just getting recognized now. He just went to the Green Bay Packers and like spoke to the team and has been getting a lot of like national press and whatnot. And he just has this crazy mentality of just like, who says I can't?
Right.
No one. And he's just like, just looking at him, just sitting in his wheelchair, a picture of him. It was actually just last night. I was looking at it, I was like, holy smokes, like,
Yeah.
this guy has it that much worse than even I do. And like, he's killing it.
I know.
And it's insane. It's so awesome to see. He's like spreading so much positivity.
I know, it's amazing. And like in that situation, that guy has his brain and he's a great coach and he's using still the same, he just is not able to move as well. But
Right.
still he can still get the job done
Yeah.
and do it well.
Doing it very well.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I like to hear that stuff too.
So kind of on that topic as well, of like hearing other people's stories and people helping people. You started a support group.
Mm-hmm.
Can you tell me about that?
Yeah, I actually was seeing a therapist at the time to help me get through it, and ironically, crazy enough, she has NMO also.
Oh, no way.
So together we decided that it would probably be a good thing for other people and for us in our own recovery to help others to get through it, because we all have similar issues, even though they're not exactly the same, but we understand each other and we understand what each other goes through,
And
and
you can relate at
we
least.
can totally relate with one another. And I bring in guest speakers, urologists, because a lot of us have bowel and bladder problems just like any spinal cord injury, and
Right.
try to bring in people to talk to us and talk about different topics without it being just a complete bitch session. It's like, it's a structured, like, let's talk about it, let's talk about an issue. So, and actually what's happened with that is that we're just a family, and
Yeah.
and we're so close, and we can pick up the phone anytime or text somebody and say that we're having a really bad day, and so it's been amazing for easing into this new life, and I just, to me, I love to help people, so it's a win-win.
Right. So it's very literally just that support group. You're
It
there.
is.
You're there when you need.
Yep. And we try to meet once a month.
Yeah. So what is that called? Where can people find that?
It's the NMO support group on the Guthrie Jackson Foundation website. There's actually a list of support groups in local areas
Nice.
that you can look up on the website, and ours is listed there. So, and then my email address is there, and I can connect people.
All right. Well, I will put a link to that in
Yeah.
the description below. So if that's something you may be interested in, or you know somebody with NMO, please check out that link and reach out to my cousin JoJo here.
Yeah, we started with 2 of us, and now we have over 26 people in our group.
Really?
In the Tri-County area, people come from Naples sometimes, from Miami to Boynton Beach, and we meet in Plantation, Florida.
Wow.
Sort of central, but not everybody comes because it's sometimes difficult, but we usually have a good like 6 to 8 people there every month.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Once a month?
Once a month.
Nice. What is kind of like the biggest struggle that you've had, or that somebody in your group has had, that you've had to address or that you've helped them through?
Well, there have been some people that, can never get married, they can never have kids because they got this disease, or they got their disease and their husband left them, or, their wife left them, or their child has it. It's, so there's a lot of issues that go along with it. Definitely have helped people to educate them. So if we have a question and no one really knows, I'll try to find the answer and, talk to experts and try to figure out how to pinpoint whatever the question is.
Right.
But a lot of emotional support is, we have one person that, lost a child. I know another person that lost a child also. So those
to
are like,
NMO, or they?
Yeah, one was to NMO. One was not to NMO and one was.
Wow.
Yeah. So, but it's just, a lot of, again, I go there feeling like, okay, I got this. Sometimes, it just reassures you that, you
can make it through.
You can do it.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, that's awesome. That's very, very cool of you to start something like that.
Well, it just sort of happened. It's just one of those things that we're like, hey, we were talking, and she thought it would be a great thing for me at that point because I was having such a hard time dealing with all the new things that I had to deal with. And so we did it together, and it's helped both of us. It's been great.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's been one of the better things that has come out of this.
Yeah. There's a lot of good and bad that comes out of this.
It's true. And you got to sometimes find the good, but it's there if you look for it,
There's always some sort of silver lining.
I agree.
Yeah. So, from being able-bodied to disabled, I'm going to kind of backtrack again. Is there anything that you've realized now that you wish you, just in life in general, like that you wish you would have done differently before becoming disabled?
No, I really don't have any regrets. I think I've done a lot. I've traveled a lot. I've, I have a great husband. I've got a great family. I'm so glad I was able to have kids before this disease hit me because that would have been a huge regret.
Yeah.
But, no, I really don't think I feel like I'd still have a great life, It's sometimes a little heavy and sometimes it's hard, very difficult, with the pain and everything, but I still thank God every day that I'm here and that I'm able, and I just feel like I am very blessed.
Yeah, it could always be worse, right?
Very much so.
Yeah.
And the support system for me is huge, my family and friends, and like that to me is like a very big deal. So as long as I have all that, I'm good.
Yeah. Well, that's great.
Yeah.
It's a solid perspective to have.
I know.
Yeah.
I'm just like you, Cruz.
Yes, ma'am. So you've kind of gone over it already, but how do you not dwell on the negatives? We've said that there's some down times, and the majority's up because of these friends and family and the support system, but there are undoubtedly negative times. So how do you drag yourself out of that when it does hit?
And it does, and that's something to like we talk that we're so positive all the time, but there are times where you have to just cry, or you have to be angry, and sometimes I'll just I call it my pity party, and I'll just be like, this sucks, and I'll stay in bed all day, and I'll watch movies, and I'll just feel sorry for myself. But I always make a pact with myself that tomorrow when you wake up, it's going to be a new day, and you've had your little party, and that's it. It's time to move on. You got to pick yourself up, and I just have always made that pact with myself. And my mother always comes in and opens my blinds.
Mo.
She's always like, all right, that's enough of that. Time to open the windows. Yeah, so that helps.
Well, that's good. I wouldn't say that I've made like a pact with myself, but it's kind of the same with me. I'll have, whether it's just a few hours or like, I very rarely have a full bad day, but it's exactly like you just said. It's like, I just know in my head when I wake up tomorrow, like, all right, this is just one day. I'm just kind of down right now. Things are going to be better. And you get up tomorrow and
Yeah.
put on your new face. And
Right. And if they're still not better tomorrow, then you try.
Right.
You just try.
Yeah.
You know, you gotta try. And then I've never really had a time where I was like, if I'm in the hospital sick, then I shut down.
Right.
I really don't like talking to anybody. I just sort of limited visitors. I become like, I don't know why I do this, but I just sort of stay in my own little place, and then slowly I come back.
Yeah. That's kind of the same with me as well. Luckily, I haven't been in the hospital in a while, but when I have had like a bad urinary tract infection that's had me in the hospital for 2 days to a week, it's kind of the same. Like it's almost like a bad vacation.
Yeah.
You know, you just kind of like shut your mind off.
Yeah.
You don't have to worry about anything, and it's
Yeah.
just like, all right, let's just deal with this shit right now.
Yeah.
And then
Get it over with.
yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, and sometimes, I mean, I don't know about you, but in those situations, I don't even have energy to watch TV or read a book. I don't even, like, the thought of, like, trying to change the channel, like, I'm like, I don't know what I want to watch. I could just lay there and do nothing. It's just the weirdest thing.
That's kind of like a depression, right? Like depression,
guess,
you don't want
yeah.
to move, you don't want to eat, you don't want
Yeah, that's how you feel.
Yeah.
It's like it paralyzes you, really.
Yeah.
But then, you gotta just pick yourself up, no
Yeah.
matter what.
Luckily, we get through it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So for somebody who's out there watching this who may have just been diagnosed with NMO or just had a spinal cord injury, or even if they're not disabled and they're just dealing with a smaller negative thing in their life, what would be your advice to them to overcome it, get through it, and wake up that next morning and have a positive mindset moving forward?
Well, I think and I think you stated this earlier too, like, I don't know if this ever happens to you, but it happens to me all the time where people come and say, I don't know why I'm complaining to you. Like, it's just, you know, that my dog or this or my kid and I always say, you know, these are, even though it's a different problem, these are your problems. This is making you feel this way. So
Yeah.
It's okay to feel that way, and don't compare yourself to me, because your feelings are your feelings. But I think the advice is to try to get the best support group you can find, like, as far as whether it's a real support group or your friends or your family, and, you know, talk and open up and try to live life.
Yeah.
Because, you know, it's crazy that people just, you know, here we are, we're disabled, and I have an illness, and God only knows what's going to happen, but then somebody passes away and you're like, whoa, that was weird, like, and here I am still here. So I just really try to tell people, just live the best life you can.
It's great advice.
I think so.
Yeah. The support is unbelievable. As you know, Christy started the Cruisapalooza, and that was, you know, I think a month after my accident, maybe,
Yeah.
or a month and a half.
Yeah.
And, like, you know, without people like you and her and my family and the friends and Delray Beach and everybody, it's like insane.
It's
I don't
gratitude. You're like, wow.
Yeah. Like, there's no way I could be down for more than a day because of all these
Exactly.
people and the positivity around me. That's like,
Yeah.
nothing will let me stay down.
It's true. It keeps you up.
Yeah.
You know, you're just like, wow, this is all. But it just goes to show that you're such an incredibly strong person and so inspiring. Like you're my guy, and I watch you go through this, and I'm very proud of you.
I appreciate that.
I really am.
Thank you. Well, I'm glad I could be that inspiration for you, because you've gone
Definitely.
through a lot as well. And a lot of people don't even have the support that we have. Like,
I know.
whether their disability isn't as bad as ours, but they don't have the support, and they're in like a much worse place.
And I know a lot of those people,
Yeah.
and that's why I try to help as much as I can, be a person for them, because I can't imagine going through this alone.
Yeah.
It would be awful.
Me neither. Wouldn't be here today like this, that's for sure.
Mm-mm, me neither.
Yeah. And again, that's the point of the show, to change perspectives.
Yeah.
And hopefully somebody can watch this and hear your story or my story and relate it to their life or somebody they know and have it change their life for the better. So if you're out there, hopefully this can help you. And we're only, you know, that's the beauty about this internet. We're only a message away, so feel free to reach out. And thank you so much for coming on.
Oh, I was so happy to be here.
Yeah, I hope
I don't like this very much, but
No?
you know, it's a little. This would bother me,
Yeah.
but anyway.
So if Kyle and I were to leave and go get some lunch and left you here strapped in, would you?
I would find a way out
You'd
of this. There is no question I would
Chew
find
through
a
the
way out of
straps.
it. Yeah, no, it's this. Yeah. See, this just shows me like, wow, good. At least I have my arms. I can drive home now, and
Right.
so that's what it's all about.
Perspective.
Perspective. Thank you, Cruz.
Thank you.
It was awesome.
All right. Well, guys, thank you for tuning in. I will put Joanna's support group information below so you can check it out. And please feel free to reach out to her. She'd love to talk to you. And we will see you next week on Paralyze This.